Hi everyone, my name is Jay Rios, and today we're talking about economic news from June 9th to June 13th. For all my small business entrepreneurs out there, the NFIB Small Business Optimism Index was released. I never heard of this before now, but basically it is a survey that tracks small business market trends and is reported on a monthly basis. The survey includes questions such as plans to increase employment, plans for capital outlays, plans to increase inventory, and this is for the month of May. Optimism did increase by 3 points to 98.8 from 95.8. But here's what happens when you really get into the weeds. 16% of all small business owners report quality labor as the most important problem for their business. That's almost a fifth. I wonder where all this good labor is going. Probably back to their own countries and to support their own economies instead of ours. 34% of all owners report they cannot fill the spaces in this past period. Specifically, construction, transportation, and manufacturing. Last time we saw these numbers were in COVID, and yet only 26% of these same business owners surveyed report increasing compensation. Now, that's actually lower by 7% from the month before, April. And in fact, the greatest monthly decline since April of 2020. So basically, fewer quality jobs, but not many people willing to pay more for it. Another 18% of business owners reported taxes as their most important problem. Wouldn't it be nice if people with more money alleviated that burden so small businesses can thrive more? And lastly, 14% of these same business owners reported inflation as their most important problem, with 31% of these business owners planning price hikes. This is the result of more expensive labor and more expensive materials. Mind you, that small businesses encompass about 50% of the private workforce, so this is significant. Next up, we have the Consumer Price Index, or the CPI, which is an inflation index reflecting urban households and consumers. The rate at which this is increasing is slowing down. It's still increasing by about 0.1%, but that is less than the 0.2% from the period before. That increase mostly came from somehow still increased shelter costs, but energy did decrease by 1%. Next up, we have the monthly U.S. federal budget, which is essentially the Treasury's reporting of the government's revenues and expenses. They recorded a $316 billion budget deficit in May, which is actually down 9% year over year, in part by a surge in customs receipts of about $23 billion due to tariffs on the vast majority of our largest trading partners. If there's any silver lining to the atrocities of this administration, it's this. That being said, the government's expenses have increased by 16%, and their debt and what they owe the U.S. citizens and other countries has remained the same. Last two here, we have initial jobless claims and then consumer confidence. Initial jobless claims have fortunately held steady at 248,000 for the first week of June, and while this does defy market expectations, it's also the highest it's been since October of 2024, right before the election. These are signs of a weakening labor market despite consistent uncertainty for the future. Last but not least, and possibly most importantly, consumer sentiment. And surprisingly, this has actually risen to 60.5 in June, drastically defying all market expectations. In fact, being the first increase in 6 months. While this is good news, it's still 20% less than December in 2024, when consumers had a little boost thanks to the election. The report shows that people are largely still concerned about economic risks, namely the tariff agreements and the temporary agreements that have been put in place by the administration. My name is Jay Rios. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, whatever you want to do here if you like this content. Looking to keep you guys updated on a weekly basis, so I hope to see you